All good?
Awesome. Awesome. So I'll quickly share more about what our systems currently looks like and what all initiatives do we have, and what all initiatives you guys can leverage to learn our systems after this session as well. More to explore and play around. So a quick introduction about myself. I am Kartikeya Sharma. I am based out of Bangalore and I take care of community growth initiatives for APAC region for OutSystems. You guys can connect with me on LinkedIn anytime, or if you have your phone handy, you can just scan this QR code to connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you have anything you wish to know about our educational programs, anything non-technical, I would say, feel free to ping me. I'll be more than happy to help you guys. So I'll quickly cover our learning resources and our community initiatives. So we do have our user groups in almost a lot of places in India, all major giant cities, including Delhi, Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and all. You guys can just quickly visit the user group page and explore your city if your city is part of our user group. If not, we'll try to connect you with the nearest city available. Uh, Up next, we have a huge developer community of more than 750,000 developers globally who are active and who are building some products daily. And I would love you guys to learn our systems and closely work with UiPath capabilities and build something interesting for both the communities and both the technologies. Then we have our intro talks. It's a pre-recorded 45 minutes technical session that will help you provide an overview of our systems platform. It's ideal for developers who want to see what our systems can do and what all capabilities our systems have. And obviously, you'll be learning today how closely our systems and UiPath as a platform can work together. So you can explore a lot more and build some amazing things there. And when we talk about some educational programs, we do have developer school, developer journey, and guided paths. Developer school is an hands-on training designed for developers, like to bring them up to speed with our system. It's a 2-week long program where you'll do hands-on learning throughout the 10 days. It's Monday to Friday, 3.5 hours daily. And it will help you basically learn out systems. And during this entire journey, you'll be building your own application as well hands-on. And the people, those who very actively participate, we do give them a certification voucher worth to $50 so that they can get certified and they can use the technology, they can learn and they can grow in the careers as well. Developer journey and self-guided paths are a bit similar. They are self-paced programs where you guys can just go and you can just explore them based on your own learning pace. And these are again for beginners, so you can just start your journey from there as well. If in case if there's no developer school live, although luckily we have a developer school live for Asia Pacific that will start from May 27th. So in case if you wish to register for this, you guys can explore or you guys can share your interest with me, and I'll be more than happy to share more information about these programs down the line. Here is a quick QR code that you guys can scan if your mobile is handy. It's a small form, just name and email address. This is just for us to collect interest in case if you want to learn more about our educational programs and all the things that we do to make sure that our community learns stuff from the best. So you guys can quickly scan this QR code, and I'll also share the link in the chat so that down the line you can fill that form. And that's all. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you, Kartikeya. Sorry, anything you're adding?
No, all good.
Okay, perfect. So thanks, Kartikeya. Maybe you can also add the link to the form on the chat for everyone to refer. And I'll not waste any time. I'll introduce Krishnambal, who is an OutSystems MVP and a representative from Zapier, to take up the session. Over to you, Krishnambal.
Thanks a lot, Rohit. Thanks a lot, Kartikeya. Good evening, everyone. Good morning to Akansha specifically. So I am Krishnambal. I am an OutSystems trainer. I am an OutSystems MVP. I've been training people in OutSystems since 2020. And yeah, so I would be driving today's session. I will be teaching you on the use case that we did with OutSystems and UiPath, where we leveraged the capabilities of OutSystems and UiPath together to build something fruitful, which kind of added a lot of value to our clients. So I believe we can get started. But before that, I would like to ask this question. How many of you are UiPath developers? Can you please give a thumbs up in the chat or raise your hand in the chat? Okay, so thank you. I believe roughly there were around 15 people. Can you please raise your hand if you are an OutSystems developer? Okay, people have already raised the hand. Please put your hands down so that we'll be able to take the exact count. Okay, I assume that the remaining people who are muted, the 3/4 of them would be from UiPath community and 1/4 of them from OutSystems. So I wanted this count to actually drive the session accordingly. So the motto of this session is to let you know more about OutSystems if you are a UiPath developer, and more about UiPath if you are an OutSystems developer. Before going into the session, I would just like to know if you are able to hear any background sound from my end. I believe so it will be.
Nope, all good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so let me share my screen. So can anybody tell me what is OutSystems? We can use the chat window, or if you're willing to unmute and speak, feel free to do so. Can anybody tell me what is OutSystems?
It's a low-code platform.
Awesome, right. It's a low-code platform, right? Okay, so let me tell you what OutSystems is. OutSystems is nothing but a low-code platform. But what does it provide or what does it deliver? So with OutSystems, we deliver web and mobile apps. Okay. Now, often people have this myth in mind that if it's a low-code platform, then that platform is eligible only to deliver POC or maybe a small-scale application or maybe an application with a limited set of users. Okay, but it's not the case. In the definition of OutSystems, if you focus, the word enterprise is highlighted, right? There is a big reason behind it. So whatever the application you build with OutSystems, or you can build enterprise level web and mobile applications with OutSystems. What do I mean by enterprise? It means large scale application that serves hundreds and thousands of users, okay, which have highly complicated logic or which needs to be integrated to an external system. Okay, so which needs to have almost 100% availability. So all such enterprise level web and mobile applications can be developed with OutSystems. Okay, so now I would just like to give you a glimpse of how it is like being a developer in OutSystems. So for that, we'll just do a very quick demo. So I have this IDE in front of me. This is called Service Studio. So you'll be able to install this IDE from the OutSystems official website, which is outsystems.com. All I'm going to do is just create a new application and show you how fast you can build screens or logic or a very simple logical application with OutSystems. Okay, so let me click on new application. I would like to develop an application from scratch. So with OutSystems, you can build a web app, a mobile app, an API. Okay, so these are the different classifications. I wouldn't go inside all of these. Just click on reactive web app as I'm willing to develop a web app. Let me provide a name to this app, say UiPath session. Let me click on create app. So can you see the color? So this would be the primary color of the theme. Okay, that will be used in our application. OutSystems will automatically create the theme for us based on the color we choose. Now let me click on create module. So only inside a module, we'll be creating all our screens, our logics, our data. So OutSystems is full stack, which means within this one IDE, you can define the backend data. Say you can create tables or like we call entities. You can define logics, both server and client-side logics. You can develop screens. You can develop reusable UI elements. All of it in just one IDE. So what I'm going to do is, all I have is an Excel with me. Let me show you the Excel that I have. So I have this Excel called movies, which consists of a list of movies. Okay, every movie would have a title, year, plot summary, and is available on DVD. So all these attributes, okay, and the gross takings amount, all of these. So I have this data in the Excel sheet. In addition to movie, I also have data about some people, okay, with their name, surname, date of birth, date of death. So what I am going to do is create an application where I'll be able to see these movies, these people, plus I'll be able to create new movie, create new person, and also I'll be able to update or search or paginate, all those additional functionalities. All in just 2 to 3 clicks. All I'm going to do is go to the data tab. I'll right click. I'll choose import new entities from Excel. I'll choose the Excel called movies. Okay. Oh yeah, I have this Excel sheet open. So let me close this. Let me right click. Let me click on add entity. Let me click on import new entities from Excel. Let me click on movies. Let me click on open. So there are two sheets inside the Excel movie.xlsx. So it's asking if I can import. Of course we can. I have clicked on import. So what OutSystems would do is it would automatically create tables according to the column names that we have in the Excel sheet. After creating the tables, all I'm going to do is just drag and drop. So this structure is called entity, okay, which is synonymous to tables. I just dragged and dropped the movie entity to the canvas. So OutSystems would automatically create the screen for the movie entity. Similarly, let me drag and drop the person entity. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop the question in the chat box. I'll make sure to take a look at it at the end and answer. So OutSystems has automatically created the screens. All we had was Excel. Now we have created screens. So let me make these screens anonymous. Anonymous in the sense anyone can access. Let me click on publish. So this publish has a very, very important role to play. So whatever the drag and drop we did, okay, when I click on this publish, all those drags and drops will be converted to the equivalent C# code. Okay, OutSystems is built out of .NET framework. So the logics, the server-side logics will be converted to C# methods, client-side logics to JavaScript actions, and the entities to tables, and the screens, the HTML and CSS relevant elements of the UI that we have created would be generated. Okay, and a library or okay, so like a .NET project will be created as soon as we click on the publish button. And once it gets created, it gets deployed to the development server. Okay, so before seeing the output, I would just like to show you the screen that OutSystems has created. Okay, this is the screen, and we'll very well be able to change or update or customize or add any new elements or adjust the screen as per our wish. Okay, let me click on open in browser. Wait. Yeah. So this is our screen. So whatever the data that you saw in the Excel sheet, they have now been transformed into an application. So I can see the list of movies here. They are paginated already. I'll be able to sort the movies. Or if I have to search for any movie, say star, I'll be able to search for it. And if I wish to add a new movie, I'll be able to add it. Say, for example, Titan. Okay. Say. Similarly, I'll be able to create a new person. I'll be able to see the list of people here. They are paginated. I'll be able to sort. I'll be able to search. So all these functionalities have been already created by the platform. All I got was an Excel sheet, right? And it took me maybe a minute or two. That's it. So this is a very simple use case that that I showed you that can be built with OutSystems. And it's definitely not like if I want the table to look in a certain way or I want to change things in a certain way, you can very well do it. You have the complete freedom to it. Now, let me share this URL with all of you. Since these screens are anonymous, I mean, anyone will be able to access the screen. So you can very well access the screen and create new movie or create a new person. So you'll be able to do all of it. So this is how the development would look like in OutSystems. This is a very, very simple use case. You can do a lot more with OutSystems. Okay. So I kind of tried to communicate the features of the OutSystems platform with a simple demo. So it's full stack. And also, yes, one more thing. If you have an application or if you have a platform, if it's standalone, then it although it has many features within it, no customer will be willing to use it, right? Because they will have an existing system with them, right? So if you have a platform, it's very, very important for the platform to be easily integrated with their existing systems. So on that front, OutSystems is very, very integration friendly. So you'll be able to integrate to any external systems, okay, be it an SAP system or be it with UiPath, okay, or be it with any external database. You'll be able to do it very easily with OutSystems. Okay, then full life cycle, which means when I clicked on publish, the compilation happened, the build got generated, it was automatically deployed to the server, and we got a URL, right? And similarly, if I have to deploy this application to production, all I have to do is just click on one button. That's it. I don't have to check for any dependencies. The platform would itself look for the dependencies and it would let me know if any of the dependencies are missing. So the complete CI/CD framework has been established with the platform, plus the experience. So as a OutSystems developer, I will be able to see what am I building, okay, with the real-time canvas, okay, which shows as soon as I add any UI element to it, I'll be able to see how will it look like, in the application, in the browser. So I'll be able to develop web, mobile, apps, and APIs, okay, with OutSystems. Any questions so far? Okay, fine then. So this is just a quick glimpse of how do we do the deployment and a sample app systems. So I showed you a very, very simple app, right? So let me show you an application that you can kind of envision as a live application. So you click on this app, healthcare. So the motive is to convey that you will be able to build a complicated UI or an actual real-time application with OutSystems. So whatever I showed you now, it's very simple, which I could build in say 2 minutes. But this one is a full-fledged application that was built with OutSystems. So where you can book an appointment, okay, with a doctor. So let me click on book. Say these are the different hospitals I have. Say let me choose pediatric, 6 to 7. So this is one sample application that I would like to show you that was built with OutSystems. You can build many such applications, okay, with OutSystems. Now coming to UiPath. So what we did was we integrated a UiPath automation bot with OutSystems. Now I would like to ask you a question. Is it OutSystems versus UiPath? Do you think OutSystems and UiPath are competitors or serve the same purpose? Yes or no? Would anyone be willing to answer to this question?
No.
Okay. So, thank you, Ajay. Thank you. They are not, okay, because they serve different purposes. So the outcome is important. Okay, with OutSystems, the outcome is either a web app or a mobile app or an API. With UiPath, it's nothing but an automation bot, which could either be attended or unattended, which should automatically do bulk operations by itself in a machine, right? So the outcome is different. So they are not OutSystems versus UiPath. It is OutSystems and UiPath. So OutSystems has its own capabilities. UiPath has its own capabilities. So if we leverage these two platforms, the outcome would definitely be something that can have an automation bot running in the background, plus a web or mobile app that can automatically trigger this automation bot, okay, with an efficient UI. Okay. Let's move on. So how did we connect an OutSystems application with UiPath? Is all we are going to see. So the answer in very simple terms would be via REST API. Okay. So UiPath exposes REST APIs which can be consumed by any external system. In our case, it is OutSystems. So I believe you all will be already aware of Swagger UI, since three-fourths of the audiences are from the UiPath community. So all we are doing is just integrating the UiPath platform with OutSystems via REST APIs. So where will I get the definition of these APIs that UiPath exposes? Here in the Swagger UI. So Swagger UI is nothing but a tool where we will be able to visually see the API with its definition. I mean, with its definition, but not okay with the declaration maybe, where we'll be able to see the parameters needed, and we'll be able to see the APIs and we'll be able to test it, but not the internal implementation. That's why it's called API. So we can refer to the Swagger UI, we can get the API, and we can consume it from OutSystems. So this is what we did in our application, which is invoice processing application. We leveraged the APIs exposed in the Swagger UI. Exactly. So let me go back to Service Studio. What I'll do is I'll just show you how to consume a REST API in OutSystems, a sample REST API, which is relatively simple. Okay, let me go to the logic tab. Okay, what is the difference between BPT and UiPath? Okay, maybe I'll take this question at the end. Okay. So what we will do is we will consume the UiPath, we will consume a sample REST API in our OutSystems application. So let me go to the logic tab. Let me click on REST. Let me right click. Let me click on consume. So in OutSystems, consumption or exposing a REST API is very, very simple compared to the other platforms. So I have this sample API called dummy REST API example API version 1. Okay. So this is the API I'm going to consume, and the method would be get. So let me go to the test tab. Okay. And let me click on test. So this doesn't require any input parameter. It's a public API that doesn't have any authentication. So let me click on test. Okay. So the response is 200. Okay. And this is what I've got. A list of employees with their name, salary, age, and an image. So all I need to do is click on this button called copy to response body. So as soon as you click on this button, the platform would know, okay, so this is how the output of this REST API would look like. So the platform would automatically generate the relevant structure in order to store these details about the employee. So let me click on finish. Okay. So I've successfully consumed the REST API, and the response of the REST API would be a status, then the employee data, which is nothing but a list, and a message. Now I would like to display this information in my OutSystems application. Okay, so how can you do it? Let's see. Let me go to the interface tab. right click. And let me click on add screen. So it's not like you have to create the screen via scaffolding. So the thing that I showed in the beginning, where we created screens from an Excel sheet, that process is called scaffolding. Okay, so either you can create the screens that way, or the most common way would be right click, add screen, and create the screen either from any of the existing templates we have or from scratch. So let me choose empty. I'll name the screen as employees. And enabling this option would add a link to the employee screen in the menu of the application. Let me click on create screen. Let me also enable this anonymous checkbox for the employee screen. Now my expectation is I would like to display the list of employees that we received from the employees REST API. So for this, I would be right-clicking the screen, click on fetch data from other source. So this is nothing but if you want to automatically fetch data when the screen initializes, and if the source is not the database, instead it's a REST API, then you need to choose fetch data from other sources. Let me name this data action as fetch employees. Okay. Now let me call this REST API. So all you need to do is just drag and drop the REST API method onto this logic. Don't worry if you can't understand. I'm just letting you know if you just understand that it's very simple to consume an API and develop screens with OutSystems. That is all I would like to convey or intend to communicate to you via this session. So you don't have to remember what is a data action or what is the server action or start, end, nothing. Okay, so we are calling this API method get employees. Now we need a variable where we can store this list. Right, so I have this output parameter. So let me rename this as employees and let me change the data type, this variable as list. It's a list of datum item. Why datum item? The reason is if I go here and if I click on data, it's nothing but a datum item list. That's now let me drag and drop an assign. And we choose employees. We choose get employees.response.date. That's it. Now this action get employees would automatically run when the screen initializes. Okay, so let me drag this employee output parameter and drop it in the canvas. And this would automatically create a table where we'll be able to see all the employee data. Okay, let me click on publish. So this is how easy, consuming a REST API with the OutSystems platform. So like we have a dummy API here, we used Swagger APIs to maybe get the folders or run a bot or trigger a job, okay, from an OutSystems application. So let me click on open in browser. Let me choose employees. Okay, give me a minute. So let's try this in a while because 429 in the sense there are too many requests with the API that I used. So we'll just try it in maybe a couple of minutes. Okay. Okay. So now this is how we can easily consume a REST API with OutSystems. Now the next part is how can we consume an UiPath API that is exposed in Swagger. So for that, I would like to introduce you to a Forge component. Okay? So Forge is nothing but a library of components where the community members publish certain components that are very highly reusable. Give me a minute. Just wait. Okay, how to connect? So I would like to showcase a Forge component called UiPath Orchestrator Cloud Connector. So let me search with the keyword UiPath. Okay, so I have the service called UiPath Orchestrator Cloud Connector. So what is this component? I said we can integrate OutSystems and UiPath with REST APIs. Then what is this component? Why should I use it? So you install this component. This component will have wrappers. So this component will already have these APIs consumed. Okay, and you will have a wrapper server action that wraps these API calls. So I have this component installed in my platform already. So let me open it and show you. Okay, so I have these many actions. As you can see, I have this wrapper called get all folder wrapper. So within this action, we have this API call called get folder. Okay, if I open this API, it's nothing but this URL, cloud.uipath.com/account logical name /tenant logical name /odata/focus. So I'm just calling a REST API. Just that if you use this component, you don't have to call the REST API and all. They are automatically called and they are wrapped as server action. All you need to do is call these server actions in your end user application. Okay, so in our case, the UiPath session was the end user application. So all you need to do is call these server actions from these end user application. You don't have to do the REST API integration as such. Okay, so similar to this, there are many server actions available. Say get job trigger bot, create queue. All these are available. So to set up this component, all you need to do is just go to the data tab and you need to configure or provide these details, which are account logic name, client ID, client secret, tenant logical name. So once you provide these details, you will be able to call these server actions from say any end user application, and you would also be needing org unit ID, okay, and yeah, the process name as well. And once you provide these details, you will be able to call these server actions and interact with the UiPath orchestrator. And of course, yes, the login that you're trying to use. Yeah. So you must have the necessary permission in the UiPath orchestrator if you are planning to leverage this component or call these server actions to interact with the UiPath orchestrator. So this slide that I have in front of you showcases what I'm trying to convey. So we have OutSystems in the left and UiPath in the right. So what we are doing is we are using the UiPath Cloud Connector, okay, which is kind of called UiPath Connector Builder. So via this, we call the UiPath application. So UiPath can be used for multiple purposes, as you may be already aware, to run any automation bot or process, okay, or for testing, right? So, or for UI or browser automation. So someone had asked me this question, right? What is the difference between BPT and UiPath? So BPT is nothing but running asynchronous processes in OutSystems. But you won't have the capability to do a UI automation with BPT. Okay, all you can do is logical automation where, so UI automation in the sense automatically go click on this button called say home and then enter all the details in this form, click on submit. So this UI automation, it is possible only with UiPath. It's not possible with BPT where I won't be able to provide it with UI element ID and ask it to click. I can't do it. All I can do is just fetch the data from the say from the table and change the status or do something or wait for a human interaction. That is all I can do. The process itself cannot go and click an element in the UI. Instead, I would wait for a human to do this, and then once it is done or once the status changes, then I'll move on to the next step. Right. So that is all I can do with OutSystems. And there is one more thing that I would like to convey, which is about UiPath apps, right? Some of you may be wondering, I can build screens with UiPath apps, right? Then why do I need OutSystems? The answer is, from what I heard, I myself haven't tried UiPath application, and yeah, since my knowledge or towards UiPath is very, very limited. So, but from what I read, UiPath app is, you can consider UiPath to be maybe a limited version of OutSystems. Okay, with OutSystems, you can build a full-fledged mobile app, a full-fledged web application with complicated UI elements. Okay, with yeah. So with the UI, you will see the difference. Okay, there are many capabilities available with OutSystems that would ensure that you deliver a proper enterprise application. Okay, so that would be the difference between UiPath app and OutSystems. So let's move on. Yeah, so we have already completed REST API integration with OutSystems. I'll just go quickly and refresh this screen. Yeah, as you can see, I'm getting the data now. Earlier, I got 429 bad requests. The reason was, since these are open source APIs, if I had used this API or ran this API like a minute ago, then I won't be able to run it and show you, okay, in the same minute. So we waited for a while and then this API is working, but your UI, the Swagger UI APIs aren't this way. So as long as you have things configured, how much ever time you call it, it will work. Okay, so REST API integration has already been covered as part of our demo. Now let's move on. Now let me show you what we built by integrating OutSystems and UiPath. So what we did was, we built an invoice document understanding bot or automation with UiPath. So we didn't do much. So UiPath offered us all the templates, okay, or machine learning models to automatically create things. So this is the process that we created. All it does is, it will recognize an invoice and it will extract the invoice number, the PO number, the address, the price, okay, billing address, all of these. So this process was built by using the document understanding process template that UiPath readily offers. Plus, how does the extraction happen? We leveraged the existing or the default or the built-in machine learning extractor that is available in UiPath. Okay. Yeah. And in order to recognize or classify an invoice, okay, we used the existing invoice model. We did not define any regex as such, or we did not define any custom model as such. We just leveraged the existing or the built-in machine learning extractor or the existing invoice model, or I would say the existing, and yeah. So in order, and one more thing, we used the existing OCR engine, okay, of the default OCR engine of UiPath to actually convert or to read data from the PDF or image that we are planning to upload. Okay, so we just leveraged the built-in capabilities with UiPath, and with that, we were able to automatically understand the document or classify, extract, or classify, read, and extract the relevant information from the uploaded PDF, PNG, or JPEG. So one more thing that I would like to highlight is, with UiPath, we were able to achieve this capability of understanding any document of any type. Okay, I didn't have to define a separate logic for a PNG file or a TIFF file or a PDF. Okay, so just create this once, that too with templates I created, that's it. And we were able to automatically extract data from documents of different types, such as JPG or PNG or TIFF or PDF. Okay. Okay, fine. And this kind of extraction, it wouldn't be possible with OutSystems. So with OutSystems, I have to, or I would have to define the logic manually. Say, for example, after this character, or maybe a regex expression, maybe. So I would have to convert the document to a series of text. For that, I need an external OCR engine that I cannot do just with OutSystems. That is not an out-of-box feature with OutSystems. So I would have to borrow any OCR engine, be it Google's Vision OCR or any other existing OCR, okay, or UiPaths. I have to use any of the or I would have to use any external OCR to convert the document to a text. And then from the text, I need to extract the data, right? So for that, I may have to use a reject expression, or I may have to manually count the characters to fetch the required data. So it is very, very tedious to achieve this part of extraction or identifying what an invoice number is, what a PO number is, okay, automatically without this, okay, which UiPath effortlessly does by its existing machine learning models. Okay, guys, I'm almost done. Okay, so, okay. And all we did was just define arguments, input and output arguments. That's it. So input argument is nothing but the location of the invoice. And output argument is nothing but a series of text, okay, with be it the PO number, the invoice number, or the invoice date, and all of those. So I'll quickly go and show you the sample POC that I created for this demo. Okay, but it was kind of accommodated in our existing client application. So for this demo sake, I've created these set of screens. So let me go and select an invoice. So these are the different invoices that I have. Okay, so let me choose the Amazon 3 invoice. It's a PDF. Okay, it's a real-time invoice, which is an Amazon invoice. So as soon as I click on extract, so what happens is, show you, yeah, let it run, and then I'll show you the server actions that are being called in the background. But if you notice, the bot is running in my machine. Okay. Okay. So the UI is built with OutSystems, and the extraction part or the document understanding part has been developed with UiPath. And via the REST APIs, we are integrating this UI with the automation that we developed with UiPath in the backend. It's running. Let's see. And the bot was successfully able to fetch the data from the invoice, okay, that I just uploaded. Now it's up to me. So UiPath would extract the data, would extract all these information, and it will provide me. Now it's up to me to leverage this data in my OutSystems application. I can save it, I can delete it, I can update it, or I can move it to another external system. Okay, so if I click on save, this data will get saved in my OutSystems application, the database. Okay, 1 minute. And yeah, let me also show you the calls that are happening behind the scenes. Hit login. And as you can see, I have successfully saved the invoice data that was fetched by the UiPath process in my OutSystems application. Okay. Let me open the application Zebia. So whatever the POC that you're seeing here has been defined in this application called Zebia. Okay. So I'll just give you a high-level overview of what we have done. So this is the screen. Okay. And I'll be able to upload any file. And when I click on extract data on click, I'm calling this action trigger bot by processes and robot. So where is it defined? It's defined in the connector that I showed you. So let me go to this connector. So I'm leveraging the Forge component UiPath orchestrator connector. Okay, I'm calling the server actions defined in this connector. These server actions in turn call the REST APIs that are exposed in the Swagger UI. So this is the action I'm trying to call, and this is the definition. There is this server action called get token. Get token is nothing but an API call. Okay, it calls this. So I'm just passing these details. Okay, my client ID, client secret, the scope, grant type, content type. Let me open this post token method. So this is the definition. This is the API that I'm calling. So as soon as I call it, it will provide me a token. Okay, similarly, I have actions, server wrappers for getting the release, get the bots, and trigger the bot. Okay, and also check the status. And at the end, I'll get the data. Okay, once the bot gets triggered. So the bot would provide me a lengthy text in the form of JSON. So that would be the output that I'll get from UiPath. So now in OutSystems, what I'll do is I'll get the JSON, I'll extract or I'll bifurcate the JSON and deserialize the JSON and get the invoice number, PO number, and assign it to the relevant output parameters or variables here in the OutSystems application. Okay, so this is the high-level overview of what we did. Okay, with when it comes to invoice processing with OutSystems. So overall, my experience was with UiPath, we were truly amazed with the capabilities it had when it comes to document understanding. We hardly had to do a lot of things. No, the platform itself was able to take care of be it document understanding or classification or extraction or the optical character recognition. Okay, and also the JSON output that we got, we were able to leverage it very well from OutSystems, where we developed the UI and we kind of stored the data to an existing database that we had. So this was one of the talks that we had submitted for the Global OutSystems Conference, and it came as top, in the 6th position, okay, in the top 10 sessions that happened in the year 2023. Because of the capabilities that UiPath had to offer and also the value that we got by leveraging these two platforms. Okay, so with this, I am done with my session. So we have Q&A. Okay, so we have a couple of questions. I'll try to answer them one by one. Exactly by 5:25, we can start the quiz. So we have planned a quiz for all of you, a series of 10 questions. So maybe 23, 5:23 and stuff. So I'll just quickly go through the questions one by one. Yeah, is there any academy to learn of system functionalities with UiPath? Yes, we will very well be able to share the academy link with you. So there all you need to do is Google UiPath Academy, or maybe if Rohit can share the URL, it will be great. So Rohit, can you?
Yes, I'm putting it on chat.
Thank you. We have orchestrator and UiPath to view data like processes or assets. Why do we need extra layer of OutSystems? Okay. So orchestrator is not a user application, right? Orchestrator will only be handled by the developer or the architect of the application, or of your team, of the technical team. What if you want to provide that power to the end user? Say in a mobile app or in a web app, an end user, say a support team of your client, or maybe yes, not only just triggering bot, right? In my case, I uploaded an invoice, okay, from an end user application. As a user, I uploaded it and I wanted the data, invoice number, invoice date, all of it. Okay, so from UiPath, I'm getting data. I'm not just triggering a bot. In addition, I'm also getting data. So, which is not possible in Orchestrator. I can't build my own form with Orchestrator, right? So, that's where we need OutSystems. Then OutSystems consume start trigger API to start the bot in the background when you click extract button in OutSystems. Yes, not only the trigger action, it also called a couple of actions that were needed, right? Which is get releases, get bots, or get token, all of those actions. So those prerequisites are needed in order to successfully trigger a bot in UiPath. Okay. With this, we are done with the questions, I believe. Okay, great. Okay, so time for quiz. All of you, please take your mobile phone. I believe you have joined the session from my laptop. If not, that's okay. So please go to this URL. Please stop sharing. I'll just get the quiz ready.
Also, while this is happening, if there are any further questions that you feel are not answered, feel free to post them on chat. And once the quiz is over, maybe if anyone wants to just unmute and ask, that's also an option. So just putting it out there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm sharing my screen, requesting all of you to please go to www.kahoot.it, and you may have to enter the game pin. So 328811 is the game pin. As soon as you join, we'll be able to see you in the screen. Also, the winners would get goodies which are sponsored by OutSystems. So requesting you to please join with your actual name so that we'll be able to recognize you. And yeah.
And don't be shy if your answers are wrong. We'll only publicly share your names.
Yeah,
So no pressure.
So yeah, please don't be shy, and we won't know if you have answered right or wrong. Okay, we'll just see the scores of the cumulative scores. That's it. Okay, so even if you went wrong, it's fine. Only you will know. Okay, so and one more thing, answering right alone would not be enough. You have to be very fast. So based on the speed and the answer, the winners shall be decided by the Kahoot platform. We'll wait for a couple of minutes before we get started with the quiz.
Anyone struggling to join? Maybe you can just let us know.
Okay, Mr. Boga PR has asked this question. UiPath has been installed in a secure environment, and will our data be secured if it's sent to OutSystems platform? The same security policies are being followed even in OutSystems. So be it the servers that you're going to use. So you will very well be able to configure based on based on the amount of security you need. By default, the platform is definitely secure, but if you want to do an extra level of security, you can very well add it. Okay. And plus, whatever the security configurations that you do in UiPath, from what I know or from my experience so far, it should definitely be doable with OutSystems. Okay. Yes, 3 to 4 people are yet to join. Yes, can get started. Okay, fine then. So let's start the quiz. OutSystems is a low-code platform. It is not a high-code platform. Let's see. Okay, Mr. WJ, I would. Okay. Mr. Aravind, JK, Mayur, Pavan are in the podium. And one more thing, the top 3 would get the merchandise, okay, from OutSystems. So let's move on. Congratulations. Awesome. Most of you have got it right. It's all the above. Okay, well done. Let's move on. Okay, almost all of you have got it right. It's false. You can build enterprise level applications with OutSystems. Okay, well done, winners. Okay, well done, Ajita. Let's move on. It's REST APIs, okay, with which we integrated OutSystems and UiPath. Awesome. Yes, it's Swagger UI, okay, where we'll get the definitions of all the APIs, which we can very well leverage from any external systems like OutSystems. Awesome, WJ. Okay, it was UiPath Orchestrator Cloud Connector, which is a Forge component that we can install in our OutSystems environment, where you will find a wrapper for all the APIs exposed in the Swagger tool. Okay, so we have 4 more questions. You still have time. Make sure you answer the next 4 questions as fast as you can and answer it right. That way you'll be able to enter the podium. So as of now, we have 5 people in the podium. Congratulations, all of you. Maintain the same streak. The answer is ML extractor. We leveraged the built-in ML extractor that UiPath had in order to extract the relevant information from the uploaded notes. Awesome. Someone new in the first place. Well done, JK. Let's move on. The answer is publish. So as soon as I clicked on the publish button, the build got generated. It got automatically deployed. So this is the button that we're asking in this particular question. Let's see the winners. Well done. Check. Okay, the process is called scaffolding. Okay, in the beginning, when I showed you the capabilities of OutSystems, we had an Excel and we kind of transformed the Excel data to an actual application, and that process is called scaffolding. Okay, yep. And we have one more question, which is the easiest question among the 10. Awesome, it's false. It's not OutSystems versus UiPath, it's OutSystems and UiPath. So with this, we have come to the end of the quiz. Let's see the winners. Awesome. Best wishes, Iseki. Well done, Mr. WJ. And the winner is Mr. Ajay. And a special shout out to the runners, Mayur and Ajita. You guys were very close. But yeah. Once again, a big congratulations to the winners.
Ajaya, WJ, and Esaki, maybe you can share your email IDs over here in the chat or. Any questions that anyone wants to just quickly unmute and ask? We just in the last 2 minutes.
Thank you. So thank you so much, everyone. With the answers, I was able to understand that most of you have listened to the session, which truly means a lot. And most of you have joined on time. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, we can very well connect via LinkedIn. So let me share my LinkedIn profile URL here with all of you. So for any questions on OutSystems, please do let me know. Okay. So I believe so I have already shared it. Kartikeya, do you need any other information from the winners if it's going to be a swag?
No,
size?
I'll just send them an email to collect rest of the information.
Okay. Okay. Any questions? And also I'm available in ADP list. So if you're looking for a mentorship session and stuff to guide you through the career path or with OutSystems or any questions, you can very well book a session with me. We can very well connect at LinkedIn. So yeah, let me stop sharing. Thank you, everyone. Over to Rohit and Kartikeya.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Krishnambal, and thank you everyone who was part of this program. I think a lot of you have already dropped off. If there are any requirements in terms of any further sessions or further topics that you would really want to get covered from UiPath community or even from an OutSystems point of view, feel free to reach out to myself or Kartikeya. Happy to set it up for you in future. I hope the session was really useful. Thank you all for joining. The session is recorded.